All right, Coach. Do you have a drill or technique or something that you want to share? I know you sent me some stuff, or if you want to use that, we can, or we can go find somewhere else. But whatever and I will share this stuff with people. I'll put a link down below so they can find it. But what would that be if you had to pick one thing to share?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not 100% sure that this is a drill that most coaches don't already know.
Okay.
But, I'm just a huge fan of playing 4-on-4 cutthroat.
Okay.
And so, let's just say we have 12 players. We split them up into 3 groups of 4. And, our version of cutthroat would simply be we're going to play till someone scores or it gets deflected out of bounds. And if you score, you stay. Right?
Okay.
And the new team jumps on and we play live from there. And oftentimes what I'll do is we'll put a constraint on the 4-on-4 play. So let's say, for instance, I want to work on drive in space stuff. We'll just say there's no ball screening at all. You got to simply make your pass, cut to a corner, and that'll give us a chance to work on, dribble drive attacks and then, sort of work on spacing off the ball. And, they would only have to do that. Let's say the ball's checked up. Yeah, let's get like a pass and a drive in space opportunity right away. Another maybe example would be like this year we used a lot of motion strong action. So when they check the ball up, they would have to swing it, slot to slot, slot to wing, get into our staggered screen, and then they just play live from there, right? And just go by our normal motion rules from there.
Right.
But,
So,
to me, playing
why would you,
that.
Why would you pick this one? Why this one? Why this drill?
I think 2 things, right? Like, to be honest, like I think kids enjoy that more. And, like,
I
the
think they do
competitive
too.
nature of, all right, we're this counts. We give up this basket, we're one step closer to losing the game. I think kids aren't sitting, so you're only out for 1 rep, and they're back in the drill with a chance to stay on. And I think the other part would be, to be honest, I kind of prefer to sort of coach in that atmosphere, so where they're sort of free playing, and I'm able to, like, as the losing team, let's say, comes off the floor, I'm able to kind of like give them something that I saw there without stopping all 12 guys at once. I think it's better and easier to coach that way, where I'm not stopping it every 5 seconds. It's something where they're continuously playing. When I see something happen 1 or 2 times, like maybe we'll stop and address it. But I think those would be my 2 big reasons, right? Kids love it. And
I think personally, I love the drill. I love the drill. There's so many variations of it too. And I love what you said. We do like we offensive rebound pretty well because we emphasize it in this drill. I think whatever you emphasize, what I would tell the young coaches that are listening, whatever you emphasize in this drill, they'll do in a game. If you emphasize taking charges, they're going to take charges. If you emphasize going the offensive glass, whatever you really emphasize will correlate. I like it because it's competitive. There's times where I'm like, ooh, we better I almost have to back off it. It's like, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But no, I don't remember. I was talking to a coach that I think they're called tri-colored reversibles. Have you heard of these things?
Yeah.
I got to get a pair of those because it's like, that's the thing, is just switching them in and out fast. And they have there's 3 different colors and stuff. It's a great thing. Do you do this with any other variation other than 4-on-4?
Yeah. I mean, like most, like every single team, you're going to have a few guys who are banged up or a couple kids are sick. And, if we're missing a couple guys, we'll just do it 3-on-3. And I think, to me, I like 4-on-4 only because the majority of the time we're 4 out, and it kind of lets us just naturally play within the gaps we see in the games. But, obviously, 3-on-3, the gaps are much bigger and so on. But I still, like, we're going to play this 3-on-3 too. It just, there'll be nights where we have.
Yeah, I think that's, I was seeing how you would answer that. I think 4-on-4, I think there's almost too much space on 3-on-3 when you get the higher level guys, that if you give them that's just too much space. I know some of my guys, if you give them that kind of, they can just, that's just 5-on-5 can get a little, especially if you're playing great defensive teams, can get get a little, you know, if there's not movement, it can get a little congested. But 4-on-4, they're always, it seems like the perfect mix between the two, to be honest with you. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's a great drill. All right. Thank you, Coach. That's perfect. All right, Coach. So do you have a favorite? I used to call this like 2 years ago. It was drill of the day, but thing that you do at practice, something you do that would be a deep dive or a golden nugget for maybe a coach that's listening. Something you do that, you know, I don't know, something unique maybe to you, or doesn't even have to be unique. Maybe it's, I don't know, five-man weave. I don't know, but whatever. Something that you find intriguing. That's a whole different podcast talking about the five-man weave. But anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But go ahead.
I would say like there's two things that come to mind. One is just competing. I love to put kids in opportunities to fail and just compete and figure it out without a whole lot of coaching. So, I mean, our go-to drill is 4-on-4 defensive 2-ball, where we've got 3 teams of 4, and it's just really fast-paced. They get thrown out of the drill for any breakdown. When we play open gym and really practice, I mean, I don't call very many fouls. I would rather us back off of fouling than be soft going into a game. So, like, we don't play with any out of bounds, no jump balls. Like, jump balls are just, somebody will eventually come up with it. So
we call it cutthroat. We call it cutthroat in our program. Like, okay. It's like, yeah, there's no out of bounds. It's like, what do you like? I'm not blowing the, what are you talking about? Like, and the youngsters will like, and the old ones will look like, Coach ain't gonna stop. What do you like? People are I think that's a great. So I'm going to dive into this a little bit, because this is always something that I've struggled with a little bit too. It's like, how do you make everything competitive? Like, I find some things are easier to make competitive, but definitely it's the more I can, the better. But I find it difficult to make it all competitive. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, we definitely don't have everything competitive. I think there's a place for the non-competitive stuff. I think of, like, if I'm really trying to teach something, that shouldn't be competitive. I need to slow it down. I need to be able to detail it and really break it down. But, you know, for a lot of our practice, I mean, we play a lot in our practices, and I just feel like, I mean, I think there should be a winner and a loser. I think you should be competing.
And how do you do that? How do you do that? I always struggle with that too. How do you do that? Do you balance them? Do you do? I see. Sometimes I'll balance. Sometimes I'll do top 5 and then next 5, but I'll give the next 5 an advantage. So I try to even the playing field. It really ticks off the other group too. It's like, I'll give you 2 points. Go ahead. There you go. You know, we're playing to 5 or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Yeah, we'll early in the season, we're almost, I would say the first third of the season, we're almost always split evenly. We'll go into our first few games, and our best 5 have probably only been together a few times in practice.
No, because it's hard to tell unless you have a really seasoned team. It's hard. I know. And some of my teams, it's like, I've just known, like everyone like anybody that would walk in the gym would go, these 5 are the 5. So then it's not as big a deal. It's almost when you're more even, more balanced, it's harder to do that. I would agree. And how often do you do that 4x4x4 drill?
Oh, we do that every day in some version. That's actually how we do a lot of our scout prep. Like, we just put the offensive action in as 4-on-4 off. Like, I'll say, okay, you know, you're going to rub screen, go into a sideline ball screen. And they don't know that's the prep for whoever we've got next, but I'll just give them specific actions to initiate. That leads into our scout stuff, especially early when I don't want to talk about the other team, but I want to prep for them. So just getting reps of guarding different things. So I love the drill. It's real chaotic. It seems like a mess. You have to communicate, or you just fail over and over. So that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, any drill that makes teenage boys talk is a good drill, I think, you know, because
that's right.
they don't necessarily want to do it. All right, thank you, Coach. That was great.